Is there such a thing as a 120-year-old comic book? Let's find out. Hey YouTube, it's Matt here, and like we started in the introduction, I may have a 120-year-old comic book in the collection, or it might not be anywhere near that old. Okay, so to give a little bit of backstory, this comic book that I got, I don't even know if you call it a comic book, it was a dime novel from 1902. There is a little bit of controversy. Is this an original printing, or is this a facsimile reprint? Now, I'll talk about that, but I'll even talk about how this came into my collection to begin with. Now, my son is 16 years old right now. He kind of started getting interested in collecting comics when he was about 13. And he found this really cool comic book. He is a Batman fan, loves Batman. He started looking in the long boxes, in the back issue bins. And he found this really cool book, okay? This is Detective Comics number 252. Whenever he got it home, he's like, how old is this, Dad? And I'm like, I'm not really sure. So I looked it up. This issue was printed in 1956. I don't know if this is considered Golden Age, very super early Silver Age, or what. Most people consider the start of the Silver Age with Showcase number 4, which was an appearance of Flash in the Silver Age. But, that definition's kind of fluid. Was this a Golden Age book, Silver Age? Who cares, okay, in the long run. But he's like, well, what's your oldest comic book, Dad? And I'm like, you know what? I have no idea. I've been collecting for years. And at that point, I had no idea what my oldest comic book was. Well, I have everything, every book in all these drawers here are organized on an online database, okay? I actually looked in, and I'm looking, and I'm going through, at the time, I think I had like 7,000 comic books. I had exported it to this spreadsheet, but the problem is this spreadsheet was not editable, so I couldn't just click on the column for the age to figure out. I had to keep going through page after page. I found what the oldest comic book in my collection was. I've been collecting for years. And this Amazing Spider-Man number 1, which came out, March of 1963. That's when this book came out. This was the oldest comic book. I had very few Silver Age books in the collection, to be honest with you. I have a ton of Bronze Age, Copper, Modern, but I just had a small handful of Silver Age books. This was my oldest. My kid was so proud. He's like, yes, I have the oldest. And I thought it was kind of cool. Well, I thought, hey, my kid and I were kind of competitive. So I was going to this other comic book shop. I went to Edie's Comics in Pittsburgh. This really giant, cool comic book shop. Okay, they have so many books there. Their back bins are amazing. You can find so many really cool issues there. Well, I found this one issue that came out in 1941, a Mutt and Jeff number 9, which honestly I still kind of enjoyed some of the humor to it. I thought it was pretty funny. So anyhow, I had that book. Well, I found out my kid got mad at me. He got mad that I had a book older than any of the books that he had in the collection. Hey, whatever happens, I hope he gets one that's older. But I saw this other book on Instagram, okay? I've been seeing it for a year, okay? At first, this was put up there for $1,000, and it is this Wild West Weekly number 1, okay? But I didn't want to buy it because, well, it says on it, Wild West Weekly facsimile reprint number 27, okay? Now, this has a date, a cover date, of October 24th, 1902. If this book was printed in 1902, well, it'll be 120 years old this October 24th. Okay, so this is a old, and like I said, I don't know if I want to call it a comic book because I've actually read this thing. You can find it online and you can skip through all the pages, not skip, but you can flip through all of the pages and read these, honestly, pretty cool stories. I'm a big fan of fiction and especially historical fiction, which is even kind of cool. So this was kind of even considered, at the time in 1902, historical fiction. Now they say it's based upon true stories, but yeah, we know a little bit better than that, okay? We didn't get off the turnip truck just yesterday, okay? So, now here's where the controversy is. This says facsimile reprint, okay? Number 27. Now, there was some dime store or dime magazine, dime novel magazine, whatever, reprints that were done. And if this is a reprint, this was done in 1949. But I found what the reprint is. The back cover looks like this. It will actually say, now this is a blurry copy, this is a blurry picture that I have, this is the highest quality picture I could get. But this is what the back copy would look, or the back cover would look like if this is one of those facsimile reprints. This isn't that. This doesn't look anything like that. This has the original back cover on it where it tells you what the story, there's 4 stories that are inside this. And this is all print on the inside. This is the only drawing on it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you call it a comic book, but I think this does qualify as what is considered platinum age comic books, okay? Which, for the most part, weren't comics as we think of them. So, or at least not modern day comics, where they are truly graphic novels. There's one graphic on this entire comic book. Platinum age comic book? I don't know, whatever you want to call it, okay? Dime novel. But I truly think that CGC has this mislabeled. Why do I think that? The back cover is not the same. So I'm wondering if somebody once submitted a facsimile reprint and they did, a little bit of research and then ended up messing it up. I could be wrong too, because I don't know, maybe that back cover was torn off of this somehow. I don't know, but I don't think it was. I think this is an actual legitimate 1902 book, which if that's the case, hey, I might never find a comic book older than this book right here if you consider it a comic book. Like I said, platinum age comic books, I think some people classify them, but are they really comic books or are they just books with a graphic cover on it, okay? I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments down below, but I hope you like this video. I hope you like the content of this channel. If you do, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and like I said before, put a comment down below. But I want to thank everybody for watching, and you have a great day.